Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. With Canelo and Crawford, you could find Crawford getting blasted about the ring with Canelo landing body shots. Let me tell you something. When you take a look at this fight, there's a lot of talk about if Canelo could catch up to Crawford, if he's going to chase him, if he has the reach. Let me tell you something. The easiest target on a fighter is the part of the body that doesn't move. And that's the midsection, that's the chest. Canelo just needs to target that. And the thing is, Crawford has, to me, his torso is kind of long, you know. It's longer than what he's gonna want it to be, getting in that ring with Canelo. Now, there's no secret. I argue both sides. Crawford to win, Canelo to win. If you've been following the channel, you know, just enjoy the ride, enjoy the videos, because I try to give different perspectives, realistic perspective of how the fight could go, because with both of these brilliant guys, shit could go either way. But I do think Canelo should win the fight easy. However, I feel Crawford's going to win. You know, you saying, damn, the Hood Champion, everything you're saying, you make good points about Canelo winning, and everything you say makes sense, but you're picking Crawford. The one thing here is just who has the pressure on him. You know what I'm saying? There's one person who has all the pressure in the world and the other guy who doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And that's Canelo. And I think Canelo's he's going to do some things that maybe he doesn't need to do. But the bottom line is, if he can keep it simple, and to me, for Canelo, the most effective thing he does. Now remember, I didn't say the only effective thing. He does a lot of effective things. But the one thing is going to the body. And I think when he gets in that ring, Crawford, Canelo gonna see himself as a bull, Crawford as a matador. And the bull is gonna see Crawford's midsection as the bullseye. And he's gonna go for it. Now, hold on a second. Let me see something. You know, pull this over here. Let's see. Stretch this out. Now that gives you a little bit better view of what we're looking at. But Canelo Alvarez, Guadalajara, Jalisco's finest. It's no secret that he has a reputation as one of boxing's most destructive body punchers, okay? And that's why I'm doing this video. He's not hype. One thing that everyone can agree on, whether you're rooting for Crawford, you're rooting for Canelo, you don't care who wins, kind of like me. We can all agree on that Canelo's not hype when it comes to that body work. Just built on years of precision, patience, timing, understanding, which equated to punishing results. Now, for those of you who are saying, nah, Canelo, he's not going to land on Bud. He doesn't hit that hard. He's not stopping people with body shots. Well, just go with what Floyd Mayweather said. Even Floyd talked about it. He said, what the hell? He's like, them body shots are no joke. So, Crawford's not Mayweather. But Crawford has a lot of Mayweather's qualities. Can Canelo launch and sustain a concentrated body attack on Terence Crawford? You see, his body attack is not just like a stylistic preference, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to Canelo, that body attack, that man being from Guadalajara, Mexico, it's been, you know, developed into a calculated weapon. And let's be real, Canelo has broken down bigger men, and when he starts touching fighters, the momentum of the fight shifts. And he has forced elite opponents into survival mode. So my question is, why can't he force Crawford into survival mode? Crawford may enter the ring in survival mode, just knowing, okay, ding, ding, there goes the sound of the first bell. I immediately go into survival mode to make sure this man don't land on my body. Isn't that crazy? You're already in survival mode before you get in the ring, knowing The one place I can't let this man land is to my midsection. The problem with that is you got to talk about Canelo's connect percentage and why Canelo's body work lands so often. Now, historically, Canelo has ranked among, I say the sport's most accurate power punchers. Now, in his prime, that middleweight run, he was landing close to 50% of his power shots. Third highest among active fighters, at the time. And when he scrapped with Puerto Rico's finest, Miguel Cotto, when Miguel Cotto, like I'm Miguel Cotto, when Miguel Cotto, what's best for Miguel Cotto. When he scrapped with Miguel Cotto, for example, he landed 40% of his power shots, 118 of 298. 43% of his connects went to the body. That's an unusually high body target ratio for a top-level fighter, especially facing elite opposition. So the secret isn't just raw power, it's how he disguises the shots. Canelo uses feints, level changes, subtle foot adjustments to make opponents guard their head, then digs to the ribs or solar plexus when their elbows drift because they don't know what to do. They just know they don't want to get hit with nothing by him. And you look at Canelo, his compact frame and low center of gravity let him generate maximum torque in short spaces. Look, man, even a partially blocked shot, they thud with fight-changing force. Now you look at Canelo and Crawford, and you're telling me that Canelo, at some point in time, he's going to be in position to throw to Crawford's body. He's going to land. Can Crawford take those shots on his arms? Even if Canelo grazes Crawford's body, he should have an impact on him. Can Crawford stand up to that? Because it gets to a point to where you're so worried about getting hit to the body that it ain't even about the body shots. It's about where you're at mentally in the ring. And we know Crawford is special. We know Crawford's a bad boy. But I'm telling you, when the real deal starts and he started hearing them horns, the Mexican horn starts sounding off in there, and that Canelo, Viva Mexico Cabrones, that shit start popping off in the crowd, and Canelo start waving his hands up and just start chasing after Crawford and going to the body. I tell you what, fight-changing momentum, fight-changing force could result in the fight being over for Terence Crawford. Now, some of y'all probably didn't like that little piece I put in there, oh, shit, hood champion, you're going against Crawford. Remember, I don't care who wins. I just think Crawford has all the skills in the world to win. Canelo has all the skills in the world to win. I just think Canelo going to take it to the stupid. But let me tell you, there's a couple of fights where Canelo took it to the stupid and it actually paid off for him. So I probably need to be careful about this prediction and shit because he took it to the stupid with Billy Joe Saunders, didn't he? Damn, they killed that man out there disrespecting Canelo and saying all kind of horrible things. Let me tell you, there's one fight I saw and I was so glad to see somebody get their ass beat down and face broken. That was Billy Joe Saunders. I was so happy to see him because he's a nasty ass, nasty human being. Stink. Even his son, he raised his son to be stink. And his son's a big boy now, but that little fucker, you can see that the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. Little boy, man, should no way in the world have had those habits that little boy had, but his father raised him to be stupid, so can't fault the boy. He's a big man now, but he was a child at the time. You can't fault him. He had only been on the earth 10 years? In 10 years, Billy Joe Saunders fucked him up. But anyway, I'm glad he got what he deserved from Canelo. Saunders was elusive early, you know what I mean? But, you just saw Canelo with that investment downstairs. Slowed them legs up, and by the middle round, Saunders' movement was reduced, setting up the uppercut and shattered his orbital bone. Hit him with the Guadalajaran bing-bings. The bodywork was a silent architect to that finish, man, and this is where we got to be real about him and Terence Crawford. Crawford could be out here up being elusive, moving, and Canelo just keeps trying to chipping away at him, stalking him, going after him. Then all of a sudden, Crawford can't move the way he wants to no more, and he's getting banged up to the body, and then next thing you know, bad things happen. He fought Caleb Smith in 2020. Now, Caleb Smith was much taller, had a 7-inch reach advantage, but Canelo's relentlessness, them hooks to the body, neutralized everything. And Crawford got to be careful about this. Smith's output plummeted as his arms dropped to protect his midsection, allowing Canelo to dominate inside. This is what Canelo does. He'll beat your arms up, beat up your chest. Then when the arms come down, he starts to target the midsection to slow you down. Now he's got the way your arms are down. You can't punch. You can't protect yourself. He beat up your midsection. He slowed you down. You're a stationary target. Then he takes your head off. So we've seen what Canelo, his recipe for success, his strategy for success, has worked time and time again. Hell, what about when he fought Rocky Fielding in 2018? A showcase of surgical brutality. Damn, they killed a man. Canelo scored 3 knockdowns, all from body shots, folding the much larger Fielding despite giving up height and reach. Remember, he's giving up height and reach to Crawford. And these are much bigger guys where he was able to come in there, man, and just destabilize him. And we all know when he fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., that shit was a joke. Drained that man. Chavez Jr. was a dead man walking. He still wasn't able to stop him because Chavez is tough. But the body attack, that was just freezing up Chavez Jr.'s offense, man. Chavez just couldn't get nothing go because he was drained to hell. The man hadn't eaten and drank in like 4 days. It was crazy. Surprised he ain't died. But by the late rounds, Chavez was starting to shell up. Didn't want to risk exposing his midsection. Didn't want to risk getting knocked out. So, doesn't matter if we agree with. All we're talking about is the facts and what happened in the fight. And Canelo, those 4 names I just gave you, he did the business. So when it comes to chopping down larger men, look, that's one of the most telling aspects of Canelo's body punching is how it erases size disadvantages. Canelo's this little short guy. Yeah, he built like a spark plug and everything, but Canelo coming in there, man, a little poquito, running around the ring and shit, beating the shit out of these big guys. You saw against Smith and Fielding. Both of them guys are natural, super middleweights, towering over him, crazy. But what happened? Canelo, low to the ground, center of gravity, torque on those shots, hooks to the ribs and liver, made that height irrelevant. So big men, they can take headshots better due to thicker necks and skulls. Crawford doesn't have a thicker neck and skull, but he's put on size. But the bottom line, all fighters, Canelo included, the body is a universal equalizer. So when the diaphragm seizes or the obliques are tenderized, size offers no protection. And this is what I think Crawford's team really had to be careful. Now, will Crawford's long torso, will that be a target? And why will it be a target? Well, look, you just got to look at Terence Crawford's build. He's lean, relatively long torso for his height, presents a wide, accessible target zone. Against shorter torso fighters, a guy like Canelo sometimes has to, I think you got to work harder to find clean angles to the body, but with Crawford, the midsection is more exposed during pivots and stance switches. So when you see him switching stances, if Canelo can time it and get there, he can land bingo right on the button. But if Canelo can time Crawford's mid-transition, boy, oh boy, especially when Bud is shifting, orthodox to southpaw, southpaw to orthodox, and he can land hooks and straight right hands to the solar plexus, and I tell you, if he times it right, he can get there, and he can be able to do it before Crawford resets his guard. That's going to be catastrophic. Now, if Canelo is landing some shots on Crawford, I know Crawford's in shape. Everybody talking about Crawford. But can Crawford absorb and avoid these shots? Like, that's the real question. Now, Crawford, defensive genius, brilliance, master technician. His defensive awareness and footwork, look, second to none, man. He's rarely been trapped for sustained body barrages. However, now, let's be real. He hasn't faced a body puncher of Canelo's caliber or weight. Don't nobody throw out Earl Spencer's name. If you do that, I'll have the invisible hand find you and choke you. Now at welterweight, hey, Bud can smother them body shots. You know what I'm saying? Clinch, pivots. But at 168, I think he can still clinch and pivot, but I just think the sheer thud of Canelo's hooks would be harder to absorb without it affecting his legs and really his mind. So avoidance, I think the avoidance for Crawford is gonna really depend on him understanding the ring's geography. Meaning staying off the ropes, stay the hell out the corners. He can't afford to get on there because once his back touches the rope, you gotta react. You got to go. But if Crawford doesn't understand the ring geography, his ass gonna be in trouble. Feint discipline. Crawford is the king of feinting, but now he's in there with someone else who may be the emperor of feinting. Not biting on Canelo's head, level feints, foot feints, body feints. That shit is just gonna open up Crawford's body. It's gonna be all bad. It just takes one. And Canelo, when he throws shots, I'm telling you, he's going to be free swinging. Canelo not going to be in there looking to tickle coochie coo chicken peck. Now he's in there to bing bing. And then for Crawford, I think the best way for me to kind of summarize this is just like have a counter deterrence. He got to make Canelo pay. As soon as Canelo starts coming in there trying to land them Guadalajara and Jalisco bombs, he got to make him pay immediately. You dip to the body, boom. Explosion. Get him up out of there. If Crawford can't consistently check Canelo forward momentum with them explosions, I'm telling you, even block body shots are going to start to take away some of Crawford's stamina. And, that's just not where he wants to be and what needs to happen. So, you see, there aren't many fighters, I think, who really understand the importance of body shots. It's like I always say when I start talking and making comparisons. I always go back to basketball. Because these fools in basketball, they'll have all the talent in the world, but they don't want to keep it simple. The objective of basketball is to score. Least amount of dribbles to beat your defender and get to that goal. If you can get to the goal with one dribble and score, or get the ball, not dribble, jab step, pump fake, whatever, take a shot. Score. It's all that matters. But they come out here wanting to do all this fancy bullshit and lose the goddamn ball and lose the game. And in boxing, it's kind of like that too. You see, everybody wants to look good with the highlight reel knockout, hitting someone on the chin, hitting someone with an uppercut. They want to come and do the David Benavidez 10-punch goddamn combination and knock somebody out. They want to highlight real shit. Not realizing if they just keep it simple, the least amount of punches, shoom, boom, shot to the body, you can get your highlight reel knockout. Make the fight easy. And Canelo's one of those fighters who understands the importance of body shots in boxing. You know what I'm saying? He's cool with the long game. He knows. He said, body punch is the long game. I'm cool with that. But I know by round 5 or 6, when I start landing them headshots, I can end the fight instantly. But them body shots, end them inevitably. And Canelo has a good grasp on headshots, body shots, and what he's doing. You see, for those of y'all who, most of y'all here know, but for those who just maybe kind of just passing through, those body shots drain stamina, man. Restrict breathing. I've been hit with body shots, I'm telling you. And you know what's funny about body shots? It's not like you get hit to the body and boom, you just destabilize and you fall out. Some of that shit has a delayed effect. I give the funny sparring story about when I was in there, man, putting the bing bings on somebody, a little smaller guy, and that joker just threw a straight right hand. He bent his knees, dipped, threw a straight right hand, caught me in the midsection. I took that shit like a champ. And even he was looking like, damn, hood champion can't be dented. And then I don't know, about 15 seconds later, it was like, like a slow damn leak. I was like, what the hell? I can't breathe. Then the round ended. That was the last sparring round. And I got out there trying to take my gloves off and tap my hands, and I just got out the ring and walked to the door outside. Everybody thought I was getting air. No, I got out of there because I didn't want no one to know. I got the wind knocked out of me, and I was fighting to breathe. I thought I was going to die. And I got outside, and then the air, I finally able to get wind. That shit was scary. I was like, holy shit, just like a slow leak. The air just started going. The solar plexus just started to just clam up on me. But bottom line is, when you get hit like that, if there would have been 30 more seconds in the round, I would have been in trouble. And it definitely would have drained my stamina. It restricted my breathing. Body shots, from my experience, they will slow your footwork, making an elusive fighter easier to trap because you're just trying to run somewhere and hide, but you can't because you can't breathe. There's a lot going on. I'm telling you from experience, there's a lot going on upstairs when you get hurt to your body. It causes you to lower your guard, which is going to allow your opponent to land upstairs because you're protecting your body. And those body shots inflict cumulative damage that can't be shaken off between rounds. That shit sticks with you, man. It's horrible. And we all know, you look at what Hopkins did to De La Hoya, a well-placed liver shot can shut down a fighter's system entirely, causing delayed reaction knockdowns that look almost involuntary. And that's true. That I know for a fact is true. I've been the victim of a body shot, and I've also, that body sparring, I don't know how many of y'all have ever done that where you just do a lot of body work. Let me tell you something. That shit ain't no joke. I chopped down the tree out there in Korea. Big old cat, man. He was a Korean dude. Them guys are tough. And the coach, he just wanted us to work on, body work. But I learned my lesson early sparring with them Koreans. I'm like, they'll try to kill you. So I was binging them. That dude quit, It was body shots. He laid on the ground, grabbing his midsection. It was pretty violent. Anyway, against Crawford, Canelo's best chance isn't chasing headshot knockouts. It's investing early and often to the body. By round 6 or 7, if Crawford's legs are slowed, his guard's creeping down, Canelo can dictate pace and positioning. So, bottom line, best of luck to both of them, but if Canelo gets going on that body work, it's going to be all bad for Crawford. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.